Hello. I got the coffee throat. Hello, boys and girls. Coffee throat. What is that? Check 1, 2. Let's turn these headphones up. Check, check, check. Give me a little juice. Hello. There we go. Look at that. The boy. The boy's in the ears. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another fun-filled Big Red in the Morning, one of the greatest morning shows in the goddamn world. Actually, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. One of. It's so funny, dude. I love this shit. Dude. Where is it? Oh, wait. Here, wait. Let me flip these. Or no, I'll do it this way. Sorry. Um, sorry, let's just open this up. This comment. Way too many interruptions. Go watch the original video then, dumbass. Go watch the fucking actual documentary. If you're gonna watch someone, watch the fucking documentary. Dunbar, what's up? What's up, Dunbar? Always first in the chat. Derek, a close second. And over here on the YouTube, we got Lou. Ayo, I'm early. What's up, Ground Rojo? I'm doing good. Just checking out my analytics, laughing at stupid comments. Because over here at Big Red in the Morning, we love to read the comments. But no, for real though, I'm posting this fucking this is what I'm laughing at. I posted the 9/11 thing, which
to Kuala Lumpur.
Sorry. Here, wait. Let's actually crunch the numbers on this guy. Because I think the original, 26 minutes. And how long do I yap for? 26:55. So what's the math on that? I'm not awake yet. All right, 29 minutes. So it is, you know what it is? It's like I like to do, well, I don't know. I think it's funny. A lot of people, like I was talking to Lemaire, and he hates. It's kind of funny because he hates a lot of the things that I do. Not like that I do, that like me doing them. I think if Lemaire's like, no, I like what, but he was joking. It was funny. He was going on. He's like, yeah, I hate when people. He's like, I fucking hate when people, just sit on a screen and watch a video and comment on it. And I'm like, or I forget exactly how he said it. Once again, I need to chug another cup of coffee before I try to talk coherently on here. But it was something about like, oh, here's a video, head in the corner, pause it every couple seconds. And I get why on its face people hate that. I get why on its face people think that's bullshit and stupid because, and it's the same reason, and I won't go into a whole fucking crowd work dissertation like I always love to do because I love doing crowd work and there's nothing more in the world I love to do is defend crowd work on a stream I'm doing. But it's a lot of people, it's the same reason people hate crowd work. It's the same reason none of my friends want to utilize TikTok. It's because the annoying shitty people that you're justifiably getting mad at, like that person Lemaire's getting mad at and why he thinks he hates. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. Let me change that. I don't want to. The reason Lemaire thinks he doesn't like what he doesn't like, but he actually secretly loves it. I hate when people do that stuff. That stuff is annoying. That stuff is annoying when it's like, no, because I get really frustrated. So I'm not trying to say that. Let me correct that. I'm not trying to say that. What I am trying to say is, a lot of people, there's a lot of things that are virtually the same thing, but because the way they're categorized, people are like, well, when it's done, like that is stupid, but that is good. And it's like, it's all the same thing. So, something like a quote unquote reaction video, which I get on its face is cringy or whatever the fuck. But it's like, And it is when you do it the like fucking gay cringy reaction video way. But then it's like when you sorry, I'm still waking up and multitasking. That's why I'm stopping and starting. Thank you, everyone. Yo, love you, Andy. Just dropped in. What up, brother? Thank you for dropping in. Lemaire rules, but L takes. Lemaire has a lot of good takes. I joked with Lemaire. I joke about Lemaire. Lemaire has a lot of amazing takes. He just, a lot of times we just let, Lemaire doesn't have a strict editing department when he when it's time for takes. So he'll just shoot one out of the gun and then we'll talk about it and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, wait, never mind." But Lemaire ask him about fucking movies and wrestling. Lemaire's got good takes. No, but yeah. But no, it's like, you might like reacting to a video or whatever. And it's like, well, what is, when you listen to a podcast, what is it basically just going like, "Oh, did you see that? Did you see this new show? Oh, that's crazy. Did you see that new show? Yeah, that was, oh, I saw this movie. Let's talk about that movie." You know what I mean? There's definitely a less overt way to do it. So that's like the loose, but I would get someone being like, that's not, but it's like, dude, I remember listening to O&A back in the day and they would just play fucking movie trailers or shit like that. Or they would just play like they would do the same thing, viral videos, or if there's something in the news going on, that you play the video, you pause it, and you comment on it. So like I understand the optics of reaction video or whatever the fuck, but at the end of the day, so much, dude, I am so fucking shiny today. There we go. That's a little bit better. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, we're all kind of like fucking watching a video and pausing it every fucking 20 seconds. So it's why I don't get too bent out of shape. I think there could be a misinterpretation of the shit I do, but it's like whatever. It's whatever. I think it's like also, I think too, when it comes to like the music and stuff that I talk about, I've said it many times before. I think the best way to truly actually analyze it is for you to like watch me listen to it and then make the comment, because I think that it's like with like no edits and shit like that. And I think some people could look at that as like being lazy or whatever, but I think it's just like the most clear-cut, honest way to do it. You can get my immediate reaction. You can get like the most unfiltered version of it. Cause I think a lot of times, it's kind of like if someone was doing a taste testing, but they were like, okay, so I tried all this food and here's what I had to say about it. But then, and they were like, all gas, no edits. Exactly. Now, if Dunbar's saying all gas, no edits. Now, let's keep it a buck. Have these opinions developed through my need to not want to edit stuff? Maybe. But also at the same time, if you're getting, if you're trying to get the purest of opinions and purest of takes, that's why it's like, I realized I'm like, if I'm just fucking yapping unedited and then I try to make it, I try to be interesting when I talk to make it engaging. It's like, that to me is like the best way to do it. But no, it's like you like with the listening to music, using the food analogy, it's kind of on par to like, yeah, if someone did a big taste testing, if someone did like a big ass taste testing and then they like fudge the numbers, and then if you had footage of them and they were like, oh, all of this food is really, really good. And then they had footage of them actually eating the food. And every time they took a bite, they were kind of like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's probably a much more honest representation of what they're doing. So it's not as like flashy. That's the problem. It's not as flashy, but I never came from a place of like wanting flashy. You know what I mean? Like I'll listen to podcasts with like I do need good audio, but it's like, brother, I've listened to podcasts with, whatever video quality, and it's a little bare bones, but it's like the content within it is solid. So it's like that's what I fucking like. But I guess I'm probably fighting an uphill battle because I think a lot of people do like the fucking over the top editing and do all of this and that and all the extra shit. So it is what it is. That's why I'm carving out my own lane here with all you beautiful people. Beautiful people. A beautiful people. What are we talking about here? Where are the music streams? I'm big in the Midwest emo, but obviously way more than that. We can do music streams. I can bring those back a little bit. To be perfectly honest, I was putting a lot of like energy into recording those and stuff, and I had a lot of fun doing them. They just weren't getting like too many views and stuff like that. But I do like, it's funny. It's funny you asked that because we were at the fucking Creek in the Cave last night, and my buddy Clay, who always runs the music. We always try to get him to do like a jam on Spotify, and he just like claims that it won't work. And then finally he's like, "Oh, I got a new phone or whatever. We can finally do jams or something like that." It's like we can finally do jams and shit. And so we set up the jam and just like I kind of I was laughing about this where it's like I've always been a big fan of DJs, but not in the sense of like, when you see the bullshit like dubstep or electronic music. I'm being rude because I'm not familiar with the genre and I don't like it too much. So I am being rude and insensitive, but still, I I don't like them. So that's usually how you get to being rude about stuff. But the DJs I do really like are basically like vibe curators, where it's like, they'll play a little bit of music, mash it up, go to the next thing. That's why I was just talking to Lemaire about it last night. Do you guys remember Girl Talk? It was this DJ dude who would just do like epic mashups. And yeah, he had this one, damn, it's still his like number one listen to thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He hasn't really put out, I guess he does still make shit. I'm gonna have to listen to, oh, I wonder if he's just like a straight DJ. Because he's got an album out that came out. He had an album that came out in 2022 called Full Court Press with Wiz Khalifa, Big Crit, Smoke Deeza. Looks like, yeah, and Wiz Khalifa's on most. Okay, so this is like an album. Yeah, because for the longest time he was just doing like DJ shit, and I always had respect for him. Because a lot of he made a point to be like, yo, a lot of DJs just hit play. Um, he's like, a lot of DJs just hit play. He's like, I actually live mash this shit up. So like that's why I liked Girl Talk, because he would just be mashing up, like it'd be like hip hop mixed with yeah, it'd be a lot of like hip hop mixed with rock music. Like I was just telling Lemaire about it yesterday. They're like, he opens the album with, he mashes up, I think, War Pigs with Move Bitch by Ludacris. So War Pigs by Black Sabbath, Move Bitch by that's really funny, Dunbar. Straight DJ, it's an oxymoron. Got his ass. Got him. But yeah. So, and it's just a bunch of that. But yeah, that's the kind of like DJing that I like, where it's just like, here's a song, maybe they let that rip for a little bit, cool transition into a new song, whatever. I don't like the big over the top EDM festival shit. That stuff's lame. I don't like that stuff. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. So, but no, like last night we were at the fucking creek, and Clay let us be a part of the jam. And it's just like, you know what it is? I'm not like, I don't ever, and I'm not like crying about it, but like, I don't ever get to go out and hear my music. Like, ever. I don't ever get to hear my music. And there's something about like, it's like, oh yeah, it's obviously I hear my music in my headphones, or I hear my music in my car, obviously. But then it's like, when it's time to go out at a thing, and then there's music I like, but then there's music I like, but I'm talking about the shit that really like, like I like a Biggie song. I like Biggie. I like Tupac. I hear them when I'm out doing stuff. You hear them because they're popular, but that's not like my music. Like last night we were hanging out. I got to play. I threw up. There's that one rapper I'm starting to really like, Paris, Texas. He's got that one song, Holy Spinal Fluid or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. Paris, Texas, Spinal Fluid. Yeah, Holy Spinal Fluid. That is what it's called. Go look that song up. It's really good. But like, I'm playing that, and then I'm playing this song Dancer by Idols. And it's funny because we were playing that Munchkin game, and like everyone was a little more fucked up. So like everyone, it's just, I get very frustrated because when we play Munchkin, and I love all my friends dearly, but all my friends are deeply retarded men. And it like we'll do this fucking thing where we'll be playing the game, everyone's fucked up, everyone, because they just fucking smoke a shit ton of weed the whole time. And then they're all, half of them are alcoholics, so they're also shit faced. And it's just like, I need a small level of focus during this shit, because it's like I'm also too a little grumpy because they bullied me into like playing another game, and I didn't exactly want to. I kind of wanted to just bail early, but anyway, and like we're doing shit. What the fuck? Like we're in the middle of what the fuck? What I love Pat to death. He makes me furious how fucking retarded he is sometimes. I say that jokingly. But I'm trying to remember what the fuck he was doing. Oh yeah, so he had this card. He had so in we're playing the game Munchkins, and there's like, you can get like armor, and you're the character going through the dungeon, and then you get like armor, and then you get foot gear and head gear and one or two handed weapons. And there's this one weapon in the game that's like a plus, and a lot of the weapons will be like +1, +2, 3, 4 on average. Occasionally you get a crazy one, but honestly, most of the weapons usually never go above +4. And some of the hand weapons will be a one hand, or it'll be a two hand. And in like one deck we were playing, there's a 4-hand weapon, and that's a +10 to monster. That's a +10 to your side. It's a 4-handed weapon, but you need you're a person, so you only have 2 hands, so you need special cards that give you 2 more hands. And we already explained this, and then I'm in the middle of a battle to like win the game, and in the middle of it, Pat's like, can I ask a question about this fucking card? And it's just like, to go in on that, and he's asking it all these fucking questions, and it's like, you're not going to win the game. Nothing about this card is going to, like, you're not going to be able to use this to hurt me. You're just asking about a hypothetical that will not happen at any point in this game. And I'm not trying to call Pat out, but it's like these fucking retards I play with were doing that the whole fucking game. And they're all being fucking distracted. And they're all taking for goddamn ever. And so I was being a little grumpy from time to time. And then also too, like, fucking when Pete plays the fucking game, he'll like fuck people over. But if people fuck him over, the way he gets offended is so goddamn funny. It's like, it's a game, Pete. It's a game. None of this matters. Stop getting offended. You fucking, we're trying to fuck each other. Pause. That's part of the game, is to fuck other men. And then Dave will be there. And then Dave will be like, I'm the greatest player at this game, da da da. And then conveniently, whenever it's possible that something will hurt him, he magically doesn't fully comprehend the rules and needs to debate it forever. So they're all pieces of shit who are full of shit. They're all just full of shit, loser. Nah, they're not losers. That actually came off mean. But they're all just fucking. It's, you know what it is? I love my friends deeply, but they are extremely flawed, beautiful human beings who are not aware of how flawed they are. That's the exhausting part about my friends. They're all deeply flawed people, and that's what makes them beautiful. But if you confront them on their flawed nature, they go, "What the hell are you talking about?" Or they give me shit like I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's why I'm better than them. But anyway, so we're doing all that. I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, it's ironic because I ended up winning the game. But like the whole time I'm just like checked out, like I want to leave. And then Clay lets us in on the jam. And then now I'm hearing like my music play over the speakers. And I gotta be honest, I could give a fuck about anything. And I go, is this what I'm gonna need to heal me? Do I just need to hear my music through loudspeakers? Is that what we need right now? Just for me to hear my music through loudspeakers? I think that would solve all my problems. So they're comedians. Some are like Dave and Clay who play the game. They're like the door guys at the Creek who we've become very good friends with. And then yeah, Pat and Pete play a lot. They're comedians. Pat tries, but you know, he gets close. But anyway, no, but for real though, yeah, Lemaire plays all the time. And now we're like introducing more. So it's mainly comedians. And then but the door guys at the Creek are like the ringleaders. But yeah, so the joy I was experiencing through just hearing my music through loudspeakers, I either have to do one of two things. I either have to rent a building to play music in. Honestly, dude. You know what? I think I have to combine these two ideas because the other idea I was going to say is I need to just become a DJ. And it's like, what if it's like, dude, maybe I just need to rent out my own building and be my own DJ and just go big red party night or something like that. Cause I think I deeply, deeply need to hear the music I like played through loudspeakers. I think I genuinely, you know what? I'm saying it and I'm being a little funny because I don't know how to be like a full, genuine, realized human being. I don't know how to do that. But I think secretly I deeply need that because I think I would thoroughly enjoy that. I think I would thoroughly enjoy. I legit think I would enjoy DJing in that context. Not like just having tunes at a party, but the rule is I get to play. I have constant control over the radio. I should be. What's the DJ from? Oh, what was the movie where they sold cars? Jeremy Piven sold cars. The Breaks? No, The Goods. What was the fucking DJ? DJ and The Goods. The Goods DJ Request. Yeah, it's like, why are you called DJ Request if you don't take any requests? Yeah, DJ Request. Thank you, Dunbar. I think I need to go be DJ Request. I might need that, dude. Bowling alley DJs rule. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's so to go back to what you're saying too, yeah, maybe I should bring back the music streams on a more regular, like on a regular time. Cause I like doing the morning show every day and talking and stuff like that. But I think, you know, there is part of me that's like, I gotta let the people know. People need to know that I have the most. I just want it to go down like on my gravestone. Andrew Malfrina, loving husband, caring son, had better taste in music than you. Like that's deeply important to me. It's deeply, deeply important that you guys know I have better taste in music. I want to go top off my coffee real quick. Let me play this video and I'll be right back. Let me play this video.
Gonna have to start harder.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna have to start better.
They're going to get healthier though too.
I agree, but also they're at their very best, what they are. Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Like whenever they need it, they've seemingly got it, except for this fourth down. And the Eagles' special teams has been an absolute nightmare for the brand. Obviously, we remember 2 blocked field goals. Now we got a block punt right up the gut. Riley Dixon there almost eats one too. I mean, that could have been even worse. Philadelphia Eagles humming on all sides of the ball, except for getting the ball to one guy.
Yeah.
AJ Brown.
Really,
They
they
tried.
with hands actually.
Yeah.
They're undefeated. Their red zone right now is 11 for 11, I think. Like Hembo sent me a stat. They're 100%, I think, in the red zone. Their offensive efficiency is like the greatest of all time. And one of the highest paid guys they got at wide receiver is like, listen, hey, if you're unwelcomed, not listened to, just quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Don't post. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way. So is that what his mindset was a couple weeks ago? Because didn't he have 100?
He had 106 and a tud last week. I believe
Mm-hmm.
8 catches as well.
Okay, so I appreciate the fact that he said, hey, I could be louder about this, but I live by this mantra. I just want you to know
Which isn't loud in the.
that this is how I live by. So I'm just trying to let you guys know who I am. But this is kind of loud, don't you think?
Well,
But you don't.
just I'm not saying.
I'm saying not be loud, though. I'm saying be quietly. This is going to be something that Sirianni's going to have to juggle.
Yeah.
Or are they going to.
Sirianni loves him. He would never.
Him and Devonta combined for 4 catches. Yes. I don't know if I saw this stat. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if they completed a pass in the second half.
I saw that stat too. 0 for 8.
I don't know. I didn't. We should check those stats.
Dude, I love the more I'm learning about because I actually give a shit about football right now. Because I deeply love every man on the Philadelphia Eagles. There's something about being a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles where you're like, oh, I love all these men. I deeply, deeply love these men. So there's something about how they move and shake on the fucking field. You're just like, I love you guys so much. I love you so much. But yeah, I'm becoming a huge fan of the Philadelphia. Well, I've been a huge fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. They fucking rip. But yeah, and I've been paying attention to a lot more. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me just change a setting on my phone, and I'm back. You're all mine, boys. I've been paying more attention to the watching this. Oh, this is what I'm trying to say. Watching these sports commentators, the way that they have to. The more you watch it, the less you realize they truly have to talk about. And so it's like the wild speculation that they have to partake in to fill time. It makes conspiracy theorists look silly. It's why I say this as a fan of football. I like watching football. It's fun. It's very enjoyable. The football fans, they got a lot of apologizing to do. Like from front to back, my whole life, the way football fans act, like what they're doing is not the gayest thing ever. And I don't mind. I'm not judging you for liking it. I'm not. It's just the. But that's the thing. Like when you have that level of fun, you have to accept a amount of gayness that you're participating in. And it's like the amount of all the stuff I like of being a wrestling fan, the music I'm into, all they have to. Oh, you talking about? Yeah. I'm not trying to shit on Pat McAfee. I love Pat McAfee. Okay, yeah. Let me clarify that. Let me clarify that real quick, because you hit me with the nah, and that's when I know if someone in the comments hits you with a nah. They're not even. It's not a conversation. They're just letting you know you're wrong. Yeah. Let me clarify. I do. I love Pat McAfee, especially with the wrestling connection. Pat McAfee is the absolute man. I would not. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying about even in the Pat McAfee show, the amount of in-depth speculation and stuff that they have to do over, because this is also a thing I've learned from watching wrestling a bunch, is in wrestling, you'll be like, oh, this happened. What does that mean? And literally everything you're speculating about, if you wait a little bit, you'll find out. And that's what I learned about a lot of sports commentary. Now, if when it's the rumors and speculations, literally all of it is just, you'll find out eventually. So there is a degree of it that is just like fucking pointless. You know what I'm saying? So, but there is also a degree of it that is interesting and worth listening to. Darren, how you doing? Sending a big good morning to everyone. Thank you for hopping in. And yeah, I was actually saying this. Me and Nate were getting into a little back and forth on the podcast the one time because I actually, I don't know, dude. There's something about like when I'm watching football commentary and I either need a former player or I need a fat guy. If I see like a skinny dweeb or like a Stephen A. Smith type, God, I don't fucking care what you have to say. I do not fucking care what you have to say. I need a former player, and I need like all the fat dudes on Pat McAfee's show rules. Shout out Big Cat at Barstool. I love Big Cat. He's literally like the perfect fat guy to talk about sports. And I say this as a fellow fat guy. I understand it's friendly fire, but I say this as a fat guy who stands in the mirror looking at his belly going, "What did you do, you son of a bitch?" You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah. This is the energy everyone needs, by the way. So stoked for Big Red that I'm humping my pillow. This is what you guys all need to come into this stream with, boys. But yeah, I'm a big fan of if I need fat guys, and I need fat guys and I need former football players, because I can't trust the skinny dudes who just like they analyze it like it's a D&D game. I can't have those guys. The fat guys, are who you want in there because they're the ones who get hyped over, like, it's that great Big E quote, big meaty men bumping meat. You know what I mean? They just get hyped over fucking, because fat guys know they're fucking losers. Fat guys know they're big fucking losers. So they see these talented men. Hey, Miguel in the chat, Andrew, so good to see you. So good to see you, Miguel. So fat guys, they get hyped because they look at the players and they go, God, I wish I wasn't such a big fat piece of shit. I wish I could have self-control and be athletic like these guys. And like, they have a level of admiration for these guys. They appreciate their talent. I said that weird. The fat guys appreciate the talent of the big meaty men slapping meat. It's the skinny dweebs who are like they just approach it with like me. Why don't I get to do it? I'm smarter than them. So I don't like this. I don't like the skinny nerds. I don't like the skinny nerds in the fucking sports world. I like athletes, and I like big fat boys appreciating those athletes. That's what I want to see. But going back to what I was saying before, you see, and I say this from personal experience with like watching wrestling shit. People will see stuff on wrestling. It's because they forget. It's like people get so fucking, they learn so much about wrestling just to forget everything about it. And that's why the term is smart marks. I don't know if you've heard that before. But the term is smart marks, and they're literally like the stupidest fucking people in the world because they know everything about wrestling, and then they take none of their past experience and use it on what's currently happening. So they'll like see some shit. And it's like twofold. It's like, one, they'll analyze some stuff like it's actually happening and not a TV show. And then the other thing they'll do is they'll be like, what does this mean? And you see, like, something will happen on the show. Like, I'm trying to remember. They were like when they were doing the was it not Dr. Howdy or whatever it was? Bray Wyatt's brother. I forget his name. They were doing some shit where they would flash some stuff on the screen, and they'd be like, "What does this mean? We have to aggressively debate it." And I'm like, they're gonna reveal what it means in about a month. Like, you guys watch this every week and you don't know what they do. Just wait. They're gonna reveal it in about a month. I don't know. I don't personally, I don't have the energy to aggressively speculate on something we know we're gonna get the answer to in a little bit. And I feel like sometimes sports is in like a similar avenue where they will do that wild, like, just unnecessary speculation to fill time. Like, I would rather watch a bunch of fat dudes go like, "Oh, what would have been the best? Let's figure out the best Super Bowl team, but you can only use people who went to a D1 school in the Midwest," or something like that. Like, I'd rather watch those guys. That's way more interesting than just like, let's wildly speculate about people's private information or something that we're just going to find out about later. That's the boring shit. That shit's boring as fuck. But so many boys and girls in the chat. We're going to talk about some more stuff because there was some news. I don't know if it's interesting because there was where is it? Oh yeah, I was very curious about the government shutdown thing, but we'll get to that. I want to look up some of you guys' comments because I wait, what? Val Venus loves debating. Hello, biological. Wait, is Val Venus like does he argue with people on the internet? That rules. Did you guys see wait, what is wait. What's Val Venus up to in 2025? What's he up to right now? Is he on? Oh yeah, probably check YouTube. He's a right-wing anarchist. Well, what's his YouTube then? Now I'm very curious about this guy. Does he know the good shit? That's awesome. That's so funny. Get him on the show. What's his like show or his give me a link to his like home base of where to like find his shit. Wait, his Twitter is Top Shelf Anarchy? That kind of rips. Oh, he's Top Shelf Anarchy on YouTube? That's kind of sick. Excuse me. I film government and share the work of others who film government, expose and constitute. No, this is Val Venus? Are you guys? Is this seriously Val Venus? No, he's a guy who. No, I'm not like saying this as like, no, my hero Val Venus identified the palm pistol shot and the. Oh shit! Oh, he's like, oh, that guy shot Charlie Kirk from his shoulder. Val Venus Entertainment. What's his real name? Sean Morley. Okay. Let me try to find this. Sean Morley. Does he have like a website? Okay, here's a Wrestling Inc. article about whatever happened to Val Venus. Ear, nose, and throat? What? Venus began working at a marijuana dispensary. Venus has drawn controversy for his views on trans rights. Oh, God forbid. Unfortunately, because it's just a given. In recent years, Venus has become less known for his cannabis use and WWE tenure, instead become controversial due to his views on conspiracy theories and most noticeably transgender wrestlers. This began in early 2020 when Venus was among the most vocal critics towards AEW, crowning transgender Nyla Rose AEW's women's champion. Through his rhetoric garnered plenty of I don't know, dude. I'm always like mixed about that stuff because it's like I talk about that shit a lot on here. Wait, wasn't she the first AEW women's champion? Who put a T in there? Oh, it's Riho, women's world champion. AEW women's world champion. Who are the women? Women's professional wrestling world champion, promoted by the inaugural is Riho. Current champion is Chris Statlander, who is in her first reign. She won the title by defeating Timeless Tony Storm, Jimmy Hannon. Here, wait. List of AEW Women's World Champions. This is why I fucking like. This is why I kind of like Grok. Rio. Yeah. Like, okay, so this is the kind of shit I don't fully know how to navigate. Where it's like you guys know how I feel about trans stuff. It's like do what makes you happy, but like a lot of the like trans activists are tricking people into thinking they're trans when they're just like little gay boys, and then little gay boys and girls, and then there's like a shitload. There's a shitload of people taking advantage of it because they have some weird sexual fetish, because they want to get away with like it's the whenever I see a trans person and they really look like they're trying hard to, because that's a thing. Like I've seen trans people talk about it. And they're legitimately like they feel repulsed to not look like the sex they think they are. And it's like, do I think they're actual? If you're a man and if you're trans, do I actually think you're a woman? Technically, no, but I also too I don't like people not feeling happy. So if appearing as a woman, like, do that, because I have a mild comprehension of how you might feel. So it's like, I don't want you to feel that way. That fucking sucks ass. But then when it comes down to like, oh, but by the way, I am a man, that's where I'm just like, and it's this. I don't know. I don't want to go on a whole trans thing because I love laying out an argument. So it's like that. I don't know. I wish there was like a word for it where you're like, I'm not mad about it, but you guys are misuse you. I'm not mad about it. It's just in certain avenues, you guys don't understand what words mean. That's kind of like my thing with a lot of stuff. Is like, and everyone's fucking retarded. So like, everyone's like fucking retarded. So they're like, oh, well, you said this, so you have to love this, or you have to be on that. Like, we were talking about it. It's funny. We were talking about the thing on the podcast that comes out, and panties that comes out on Thursday. They brought up, I don't know if you guys saw, there were two dudes with MAGA hats. That go to a school, and then all the students got like really aggressive with them. And like, we were talking about that, and I kind of tried to make a point because Nate was saying like, they know what they were doing, going there. And it's like, it's weird waters for me to navigate because it's like, I unfortunately have nuanced opinions about stuff, but it's like, and then a lot of times if you say a certain thing, like, so the dude's going with the MAGA hats, I'm sitting there like, first off, we didn't get this deep into it. We kind of joked about it and moved on because I kind of made the point. I was trying to make the point in those situations because I didn't want to come off like I was supporting those guys because I do think, because Nate made a great point. It's like those dudes were coming there hoping they would get the video. And I think that's probably true to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Is like those videos. So, but then what happens in the video is, so they go, and it's like, it's not to say that they're not losers or dorks or being kind of gay. Because people are like, oh, we're just trying to have a free speech discourse. It's like, no, you're trying to make a YouTube video so these people spaz. But the fact that they spazzed and how much they spazzed is also like, you guys also look like shitheads. And the point I was trying to make not get too serious, but still be kind of funny, is the point I was trying to make is like, when you see videos like that, you're like, it's like you like, we need verbiage to be like, just to be clear, everyone sucks ass in this. You know, that's why it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I have to weigh in on everything. Because it's like, if it's two groups that both suck ass and are just going to destroy each other, like, there's that part of you where it's like, do I also get in the mud if they're just going to destroy each other no matter what? But then also, too, I guess there's like bigger issues where, you know, if you go to a college, and you present, you know, you are a group of people that the college disagrees with, and then you see the college, the student population responding in a very, just like in a dumb way where you're just going to be like screaming at them the whole time and like intimidating them and this and that. You know, it is indicative of a bigger thing. But then at the same time, it's like, you know how you avoid that is not approach, like, because from what I was seeing, the college that they were at was like maybe it might have been like an HBCU because it was like predominantly not white, like it was predominantly African American. So there is part of that too. It's like, while their reaction seems big and over the top, there is a part of it where it's like, hey man, you understand, right or wrong, how the things you're doing are perceived. So there is also too, like, going about it a certain type of way, you know, and that's just what makes some of these arguments harder, where you're like, if you get in the mix, it comes off like you care way more about this shit than you actually do. And you're like, no, I'm just kind of like expressing my opinion. And it's the same thing with the fucking, like, going back to this AEW shit, where it's like, I do want to be a guy who's like, live and let live and do your thing and have fun over there. But then when you see like the second ever women's champion is like a trans lady, you know, I don't know. I'm like, not that, you know what it is? I'm not mad about it. It just seems like you guys are doing it to be like, look at how fucking progressive we are. Look at how fucking that's like how it comes off. You know, that's kind of where I'm coming from. That's kind of how that's how it comes off. So that's kind of why I roll my eyes at it. You know, as opposed to, I was talking about it yesterday, that show Wayward. They had the trans person in the leading role, or in the cop role, and they didn't like make it a fucking thing. You know what I mean? They didn't make it a fucking thing. But I also, too, I'm not watching AEW like that, so maybe they weren't making it a fucking thing. I'm just saying how it comes off. You know what I mean? But, yeah. But it is also, the one thing that also is annoys me more about, like, the trans conversation is how, like, unanimously, like, oh, you're a bad person. You know, how some people just will look at you and go, so it's like, if someone tells me like, oh yeah, the second ever AEW Women's Champion, they gave it to a trans woman, and if I kind of like roll my, and I don't got any beef with Nyla Rose. It's like Nyla Rose on a personal level, I don't care. She seems like a nice person. She's a decent wrestler from what I've seen. But it's like in the broader conversation, you're like, oh, of course they did. Of course they did. If that's my immediate reaction, going like, oh, of course they did. It's like you're immediately labeled as like not just like oh, that's actually wrong. You're like a bad person. You know what I mean? And it's like, so that's why stuff like this and why I'm taking a huge side quest on this. What does Val Venis do now? So like to have a paragraph to be like, oh, by the way, he thinks this. And obviously it's understood he's a bad person. You're just like, well, no, I don't think thinking the opposite way as you do on a highly debated topic is like that's the part drives me up a fucking wall. That's the part that drives me up a fucking wall. The fact that you would look at someone who's like not a big fan of that and just go, now, did Val Venis talk like a fucking shithead? Maybe, sure. I'm not defending that. He might have been a huge fucking shithead, but like I just get annoyed where it's like, why is that cuz why does that immediately make you a shithead? Cuz it's like, all right, dude, then argue your end of it. Because if you're going to argue your end of this of like, no, they're 100% ladies, and this is completely like normal all the time. It's completely normal, and there's nothing about there's nothing about being born a man and then thinking you're a woman and then dressing up like a woman all the time and maybe wanting to do testosterone and hijack millions of years of biology and do all, it's like the more, and then also too, sometimes even if you have a dick, you have to refer to me as a woman. And it's like, and then you give me all of that. You give me all of that and go like, there's no questions to ask about it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Why can't we just be like, it's to me, it's been the thing since day one with that stuff. To me, it was like the way people would attack you if you go like, you sure about that? That was always the thing to me. The way people would attack you if you were ever like, you sure about all that? Like all of it? You sure about all that all the time? And then they'd be like, you're a fucking monster. This thing we just started talking about last week? If you don't agree with it 100%, you're a fucking monster. And then people are going to be like, God, you guys are obsessed with it. It's like, well, you're giving me a hard argument to get on board with. You know what I mean? It's a hard argument to get on board with. It's like, I wish it could be like, I just wish we could live in a world where trans people were like, you're born a certain gender. You realize if I present myself as a different gender, I will feel happier more often than I won't. And then they kind of go like, that's what's going on. And then it's like other people are like, well, I don't get that. And they're like, that's fine. Just please don't be mean to me or hurt me. And then other people go, fair. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with that. And then on top of that, I don't know what's wrong with like, we have men, we have women, we have trans men, and we have trans women. I don't know what's wrong with that. And then it's like, if someone's a trans woman, you understand A, B, and C, and then you don't be mean to them, and then you don't kick the shit out of them. And then it's like, we'll just keep it a buck. You're like, you're not like, it's like, you're not a woman, but you're also not a traditional man. And you're you. Just be you. That's like the thing since fucking day one. It's just like weird low-key totalitarianism where they go like, no, you all have to think this. It's like, why don't you just go vibe out and be you? You know what I mean? Like unfortunately, you're it's gonna sound, I don't mean this in like a negative way. It's like the same thing with a guy like me who's into this. I'm abnormal compared to like traditional. I'm abnormal compared to like traditional norms, and it's the same thing with trans people. You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad thing. You're abnormal, but just like accept that. And it's this thing where like everyone has to. It's like, can you imagine like one of my favorite bands? Every Time I Die, I wear their shirt all the time. Can you imagine if I was just constantly like, no, everyone has to say Every Time I Die is the greatest band in the world? I think they are. I think they're one of the greatest bands in the world. But can you imagine if a bunch of people were like, I like, what would I have to do? And that's kind of like what the trans activists, and I'll say this too. I don't fucking I don't fault. It's not like regular. I've met regular trans people. They're chill as fuck. I'm not. It's like it's the trans activists who are usually just fucking white ladies that don't want to that need to just stay out of other people's business and or have better fucking arguments. That's the other part. It's just these people with terrible arguments who make it your problem. They're fucking stupid. So it's always it's trans activists who are the fucking problem, and then it's dudes pretending to be trans. Like, you ever see the fucking GameStop video? It's that guy. It's the guy who's like, it's ma'am. It's like, well, clearly you're not like trying that hard to do this. You're not trying that fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, a real trans person makes you question your sexuality because they're really fucking killing it looking like a gal. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10. That's my barometer of like real trans person. If I see a trans person, I go, what the hell are you doing to me right now? Why are you making me feel this way? What the hell are you doing right now, lady? I know you got something down there, but why are you making me feel? That's a real trans person to me. These fucking dickheads the fucking dickheads who just put on lady. Like, I think this might be a hot take. This might be a hot fucking take. Are you guys ready? You guys sitting down? I genuinely think a lot of people claim to be trans and they're just, I don't know, they're like transvest or what's the fucking term? They're just like cross dressers that want like get off on the attention and the fact that they get to do this in public. Because think about it. Think about how we've treated cross dressers this whole time. Like, you can't go out and now all the trans shit is like hyper normalized and hyper misunderstood how we should perceive it. So now you're a cross dresser and you get to go outside and say you're trans and be beloved. And if you're not beloved, people can't say shit because they'll get socially ostracized. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about actual trans people. Because if a real trans person, worst case scenario, you're gonna go, wait a minute, are they trans? You know what I mean? Like, because I remember I've come across a few comics where I've been around them, and not all of them. This was a while ago. No one in Texas. But no, all jokes aside, like, I've been around trans people where I've been around them a couple times, and I just thought they were like, not the prettiest lady. But they still come off like as a lady and feminine and shit like that. You know what I mean? So that to me is like what a real trans person is. When you go, what's the one fucking dude who was getting in trouble because he was recording himself in Disney World, and he was like, I'm gonna check all the bathrooms, because that's like, especially like trans people and like traditional gays, they want to like assimilate into culture, which everyone should want to. Everyone should want to just be a part of like the culture and go like, I'm not going to be a bother. This whole fucking like, I need a special gold star and I need to be the most special looked at person in this group. That's like the problem with any perceived group that you don't like. Like, that's the problem. It's not that the whole group is bad. It's that the fucking activist class or whatever of that group is being the most fucking annoying, and they want to be the special little star who gets all the fucking attention. And it's like, traditionally, gay people were just like, yo, stop fucking with us. You know, and then trans people too were just like, yo, stop fucking with us. And then, you know, they legalized gay marriage, and a lot of the gay activists who are the annoying problem, now they start bullying people and going like, make the fucking cake, which that's not like assimilating into the cult. Like, we all have this broad culture that has these broad, like we all have this broad culture that has these vague rules that keep a moderate level of order throughout the day and makes everyone chill and happy and stuff like that. And then that's why there needs to be more mechanisms to, like, you know, deal with people who, you know, fuck with the good vibes. You know what I mean? Because that's that's one of the problems with like a polite, high trust society is like sometimes it's hard to deal with people who, you know, I don't know, whatever it may be. Like the person, it's like the equivalent of like, you want a society where when you put out the bull on Halloween that says, "Oh, you guys don't. Oh, my fault. I'm not trying to promote broad culture to the boys. My fault, guys." Honestly, broad culture's been the problem, right, guys? No, you want to create a society that is the equivalent of, on Halloween, you put out a bull and it says he says only take one. And you want a society where the worst thing that happens is like, because let's be honest, you know, I'm sure some of you degenerates in the chat took the whole bull. That you're the people. All right, Kool-Aid, that is a lot. That's crazy. That's a crazy comment. I know you're being funny, but I don't want Twitch to kill me. Now I'll be fine. No one pays attention to me. But doing the thinking face after commenting bring back rape culture is crazy. Oh, just the culture. Okay. No, so yeah, so I'm sure some of you degenerates in the chat were probably like, yeah, I grabbed a fucking handful of candy. I grabbed a whole fucking handful of candy. The type of society you want is a lot of people follow the rules, take one, and the worst that happens is like, and I'm the guy who did this. I'd go up, I'd be like, I'm taking like 3. Fuck this. And you take like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? That's what you want. I think the problem with our society is like there's no mechanism for dealing with when someone just takes the whole fucking bowl. You know, so maybe we got to adjust, and because I think, especially with like the way the government's set up and the way that like they make, you know, certain processes possible and all this other shit, I think it's like I was saying, it's kind of how I talk about with like when people get mad at capitalism, and I try to point out it's like I would say it's more crony capitalism, where people are like, well, businesses and corporations are evil and stuff. And I go, I agree. But if we didn't have such a gigantic government that creates regulations to give these corporations and businesses an unfair advantage, they wouldn't be able to they wouldn't be as incentivized to act on these motivations where they're like, all right, well, you know, like we need them to pass a law. I always love bringing up the example from the progressive era where they brought in food regulation, and Heinz ketchup helped them specifically organize it in a way where the second they organized it in a way, and once they passed those laws, oh, would you look at that? All of our competition is now operating illegally. So while we get food safety regulations, which I believe stuff like that just develops over time, because it's like if you hurt people, over time you'll get incentivized to not hurting people because they won't want your product. It's harder in a society where businesses are inorganically imposed upon you. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these public works shits like that. But regardless, you know, so it's not that these businesses and certain type of people and organizations don't have bad motivations. It's like, just don't create a framework where they can act upon them, you know? That I don't know. A lot of it comes down to incentives where it's, people see it all the time. Like they understand it when, when someone in New York wants fucking people to stop drinking soda, they raise the price of soda. And then when they want other it's like, yeah, just stop. You'll get less behavior if you stop incentivizing it or just letting it happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, people always look at solving the homeless problem as just like, well, you got to rehabilitate them. It's like, well, no, you also have to start with not letting it happen. You just got to be like, hey, you can't sleep outside. Well, what are you gonna, I don't know. Because it's not hard to have a house. So you were the one who chose to do heroin and sleep outside. So I have to go get something. I apologize. I'll be right back. And then we could talk about Val Penis or whoever we were talking about.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Crystal?
Indeed, we do. We're going to spend a bunch of time on this alleged peace deal that Trump and Netanyahu have agreed to, sort of a take it or leave it offer to Hamas. We're also going to have Jeremy Scahill on to break down Hamas's response, their view on this, what it all means, where this all may be heading. So really important stuff there. Also, today, the government shuts down and there is no deal in sight. So there was a big meeting yesterday with Trump and the Democrats. We'll give you the what they're saying coming out of that meeting and where we think things might go with that. Drop site with some really important and very insightful reporting with regard to Jeffrey Epstein and the deals he was brokering on behalf of Israeli intelligence services. Really fascinating stuff there. We're also going to take a look at Brylan Hollyhand. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What does he mean for our society and for the Republican Party? This is one Sagar is particularly interested in, so I am curious to get his.
Yeah, it's more of it's not a personal interest. It's like an anthropological study, like studying gorillas in the zoo and seeing what happens. It's like or like when you
Who
remove
emerges and why.
Exactly. It's like in Yellowstone. Everyone famously talks about. It's like when you reintroduce the wolf to see what happens, and so that's kind of the way that we're looking at this. Anyway, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the show. We deeply appreciate it. BreakingPoints.com if you were able to become a member. We did our AMA for everybody yesterday where we revealed what books we were reading, and I ashamedly had to admit that I haven't been reading that much because I'm so tired, and in fact I've been reading fiction again for the first time in a decade. So if you want riveting content like that, you can sign up. You can also...
Nothing wrong with reading fiction, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It's exercise a different part of the brain.
Yeah, I resisted it for so long, but now I'm just like, I need the escape. But anyways, thank you to everybody. If you can't afford a membership, no worries. Please just go ahead and hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, wherever. If you're watching this video, hit subscribe for our channel. If you're listening to this on a podcast, just please go ahead and send your favorite episode to a friend and or rate us 5 stars. It really helps other people find the show. But with that, let's go ahead and get to this Israel deal. By far the biggest news that came out of this yesterday. Joint press conference with President Trump and with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, that's right. So Netanyahu in town again, and we got this announcement that there was going to be this big press conference. They were supposed to take questions. They didn't take questions. Anyway, putting that aside, Trump gives a long speech announcing what he is describing as a peace deal.
All right. Sorry about that. My fucking ears were bothering me. I felt like I had a lot of fucking shit in my ears. There were a bunch of really good comments I've been ignoring. Let me, I know we were supposed to figure out what Val Venis was doing. Here, let's do that real quick. What's Val Venis doing? I don't know. Let me do. What's he doing? Okay. Doesn't like trans people. Okay, so he's just been doing, according to these guys, he's been doing a lot of transgender stuff. So we'll have to look for that. Cool. Cool. Oh man. I'm retarded, but losing railroad regulations turned my hometown, East Palestine, into a toxic wasteland. A world without any reg is dangerous. No free market incentives can fix East Palestine. Well, the government caused East Palestine, so and I'm not trying to be, that sucks that it happened to your hometown, but that is the government's fault because they didn't take care of the fucking, you know what I mean? Like they didn't take care of. I'm not an expert on the East Palestine thing, but that is a funny thing that happens where it's like the government will do something and then the free market gets blamed for it. But you know what I mean? It's the government, they're not taking care of the fucking rail. Well, I don't know. I don't want to speak deeply on it, but I don't think that's a clear, well, clearly the East Palestine happened because of the free market. Because that's the thing. It's not to say no bad things will happen in the free market. I'm just saying the free market is substantially more inefficient. I didn't mean to say that at all. The free market is substantially more efficient and it's just substantially more efficient and get better results and not rob money from you the same way you would in a government bullshit. Also traveled to India where there is no regulation on vehicles or buildings, not enforced for sure. The air is hard to breathe and sky rises are held together literally. Sky rise by twine rope. Well, that can't be possible. Is that real? It's actually held together by rope. I don't know if that's actually possible. That might just be a fun thing to say. Yes, they didn't enforce their regulations. Corrupt government enforcement is just as evil as anything I brought up. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say is from what I've gathered, East Palestine is the government not doing their job. You know what I mean? Like they have regulations over the railroad. Well, they clearly didn't do their job in making sure the railroad didn't fucking suck ass. And they apparently it's just okay to, also the government, it's apparently okay to just deliver these chemicals in an unsafe way, to do. So what I'm trying to say is the government says oh, I got it. And then they never got it. You know what I mean? It kind of from what we're saying here, it kind of feels like the government it's more the government's fault that East Palestine happened. But I don't know a fuck ton about it. I don't know. I'm not the most well versed in that. But even what you're saying, right? Even based off what you're saying right here, yes, they didn't enforce their regulations. So that's the government's fault. Corrupt government enforcement is just as evil as anything I brought up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a weird thing, and I appreciate you being in here, brother, and I love you so much. None of this is me coming at you. There's a weird thing that happens though, where we can just go down the list of the I've said it before. It's and I'm not saying. Let's make it clear too. Because a lot of times when you advocate for the free market, people throw a big disingenuous statement of claims on you that you didn't say. And I'm not saying, yeah, the government is lacing food and drinks with glitter. Look into it. Interesting. Are you fucking around? I can't tell if that's a joke or not. Because I wouldn't put it past them. But no, it's I'm not saying because that's the other thing too. When you say you don't want regulations, people just go oh, just so willy-nilly and this and that and everything's just that. It's no. But then you realize It's the same way as like when you go to buy a car, you look up the Carfax. Like we would have, I think in a more free market, we would have shit that would God, I'm not the guy to talk about this. I know how I feel and I know how I think, and I feel like I'm not good at talking about. I'm not a big fan of talking about this in this moment. But no, it's let me go back to the original point I was trying to make. Is like, well, dude, even in a free market society, there's more consequences too. There's more consequences too. So even if East Palestine happens, the government goes, "We got this." They do nothing about it. And then it's the same thing with Flint, Michigan. The water's probably still fucking poison. And they're like, "We got it." Nothing happens. And everyone just sits around. It's like, when are you going to do something? They're like, "We'll do it." Dude, if like, can you imagine if, like, I don't want to get too specific to not, incriminate myself in any way, but can you imagine if a company, can you imagine a company completely in any way, whether it's East Palestine or Flint, Michigan, they completely poison your water supply and make where you live uninhabitable? Can you imagine a world where you didn't have to, like, the government didn't just run cover for these people and you could deal with it in an appropriate way? Like, that's the other part of a free market, by the way. Because people go the direction of like, oh, when you're advocating for free markets, you're pretending like problems don't happen. No, problems happen all the time. Problems happen all the time. It's not a utopia thing, but this is the reality. In a free market, you don't have to wait for the government to do nothing about it. You can actually deal with it yourself. You know what I mean? And extrapolate that from, I understand you're all thinking I'm implying like a mob with torches and shit. That's not what I'm saying. It's like, but extrapolate it from a bigger thing of, we have our own organizations that deal with these problems in a certain type of way. Because that's the other part too, by the way. I'm not saying we snap our fingers and we just go, no regulations, no government, free markets. Because I also too, I got to be honest, I don't think a lot of people are mentally built for it. So like, that's why right now, like, I would love to magically somehow get everyone interested into libertarianism, Austrian economics, all that kind of shit. Cause it's like, it's a thing of like, if you don't, it's like trying to play a game and not knowing the rules. It's like libertarians need to do a better job at like convincing you of our outlook on life. Because the thing is, that's the other part of it. You need more libertarians in the world. Once you understand the libertarian outlook on life, it's hard not to be that, because you've just understood these absolutes of life. You know what I mean? Like the way you view property rights. It's like, the way you view rights and property rights and stuff like that. Once you understand that, it's hard to act in another way. So like, I understand. That's why I'm like, right now, I'm a way bigger. Like, if magically we convince everyone to be libertarians, we could blow up the fucking state and nothing would be wrong. Cause like, not nothing, obviously. We could completely get rid of the government, but it wouldn't be that bad. Cause like, everyone would be able to function and understand how to like do shit voluntarily and shit like that. But we're just not there yet. So that's why, for me, it's, I think what's better is almost like understanding humans' motivations. That's why I got the audiobook for Human Action, but I might have to get the physical copy because god damn it is, dude, I think the libertarian shit is more built for sitting down and reading it rather than listening to, because I love the Mises Institute and all those beautiful people there, but god damn it, do they get boring fucks to read their books. Dude, I have so much gunk in my ear. This is going to be gross. I'm sorry. I get like gunk in my ear. And as I'm talking, it like makes a weird, I don't know. That was really gross. I'm sorry. No, No, don't be sorry at all. Don't be sorry at all. I love conversations like this. This is how we like figure things out. That you didn't fuck up the vibe whatsoever. This is the vibe. This is the vibe. Me talking about this shit. This is the fucking vibe, dude. I'm so happy you're here. Only got love for you, but accountability is the biggest problem with most disasters. And that's kind of what I'm saying is like, so what the government does is go, we got it, and then they don't provide. You call me an animal, Derek. What the government does is they go, we got it, and then they don't actually provide any accountability. You know, it's like think about it with public safety with cops and shit like that. Cops are like, oh, we're here to serve and protect. Well, someone broke into my house. Well, we'll be there in 40 minutes. And then we'll be there in 40 minutes. And then when we get there, we'll just kind of take pictures. And truthfully, we're not going to really do anything about it. Now, take that like you live in a private community. First off, you live in a private community with like armed security. You're getting way less people breaking into your shit. Because you got armed security that you pay for that gives a fuck about you. And then even if someone in your neighborhood does steal from you, it's like because you just have way more. There's way more room for problem solving because there's not like an entity that like controls the movement of everybody like that keeps you from letting you solve these problems. There's that's the thing I'm trying to say is because what the government does. What the government does is people think the government's the referee. They're not the referee. They're the mob waiting to get paid off. And the example I gave earlier with Heinz Ketchup or whatever. Heinz Ketchup, they want to have an unfair advantage. So they go to the government. They help them form legislation and they pay them off. So now there's regulations that damn, that sucks. Brother, a girl OD'd and died in my hood last night. Was mad depressing the wrecker truck and shit. Cop showed up immediately. Well, that's good. Yeah, but yeah, no, so like Heinz Ketchup comes in, does all the regulation, and now it's not actually about food safety. It's really just about like we're gonna create these rules that they price out people who don't have a shit ton of money. They price those people out so they can operate at a higher scale and shit like that. Or they can operate without competition. You know what I mean? That's why big corporations it's weird too in the discourse. They get people's heads flipped upside down. Because they'll be like, they get people thinking fucking backwards on shit. Because, sorry guys, 1 second. There's a thing I had to check that I forgot about. Okay. All right. Twitch is being shitty. I'm gonna go over to YouTube. Hell yeah. But wait, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, like with the Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, I gotta turn off. Someone added me to like a group chat on someone added me to like this group chat on Twitter, and it's a fun group chat, but they are very active, and I don't want. Here we go. I don't want notifications every fucking 5 seconds. Oh yeah, but the thing is, like, a lot of the companies who, they do this interesting thing where they like trick people into. They do this really interesting thing where they get people's heads backwards and they think advocating for a certain type of thing will, or they get like the wrong perspective. So the wrong perspective on stuff. The example I was going to give is like with the like the minimum wage is like big corporations are completely fine with the minimum wage. Like obviously they would have it lower, but they're okay with it going higher because they can pay for it. You know what I mean? Like like a lot of times these corporations will help advocate for the minimum wage shit because it helps price out their competition. You know what I'm saying? So, there are these certain government regulations and that's what's wrong with like a lot of the progressive policies is it's disguised as do-goodery, but really it's just there to it's there to price out or exclude other people. And when you exclude other people, you get rid of competition. When you get rid of competition, you create like a shitty situation and you create a worse product and that's how you get bad shit, and it's like if you in any industry, if you don't get this unfair advantage, because it all boils, this is why knowing economics is so important, because it always boils down to like understanding prices and shit like that. It all just boils down to that because if you just like fix prices or say this needs to happen and you don't have the natural regulating process of the market, you're just going to get like one thing and no other thing to kind of go against it to give it, because it's like that's the thing that's naturally going to happen. If something gets shitty, there's going to be someone else that comes in and the second they see an opening in the market, someone else is going to come in and provide a cheaper or better product, and then it's going to force the other person. But if you don't have anyone, that's why government shit is always the worst shit, because there's no one else to combat it. There's no one else they have to get. So you're not going to get better. You're only going to get worse. And we've had years and years of government shit having zero competition. So it only gets worse. That's my thing. What up, Derek? There were a bunch of really good questions before that I was ignoring. And again, you did not fuck up the vibe. I appreciate these conversations because I talk about them. And then I feel stupid over half of the shit I say, and then I realize I need to learn more so I don't come off as dumb. And then on top of that, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I think some of this libertarian shit's confusing and hard, and some of it's really fucking boring. And you have to be a dork like me who's into but I'm telling you, dude, if you figure out economics, what the problem is like the popular thought process on fixing things is very detrimental to the actual concept of fixing things, if that makes any sense. It's not, it's counterintuitive, I think is the word, actually. I think it's all very counterintuitive to actual progress. And once you understand, and it's not just like, oh, that'd be great, where, communism just looks great. It works great on paper. And it's like, people will be like, oh, there's never been a libertarian society. There's never been an anarchist society, any of that stuff. But if you look at any avenue where they just let people be free and they let people just do their thing and have voluntary exchange, there's always immense wealth formation for everyone. You know what I mean? That's one of the, besides all the murder and violence, from an economic standpoint, it's one of the saddest parts of what was it, Black Wall Street? Where was that? I forget where that happened. The Black Wall Street thing. Tulsa. Yeah, the Tulsa race massacre. That shit was it was kind of ironic because I think all the white people were getting fucking pissed. That's so funny. Andy, do you own any shirts that aren't Every Time I Die? A few, not a lot. I'm building up my Kubla Khan. I'm at about three Kubla Khan shirts and one hoodie at this point. I don't just half-ass things when I like them. I like things a lot. But yeah, the Tulsa race massacre, that was an interesting thing because from what I've gathered, and I'm not an expert on the topic, but it feels if it was kind of like they were like, because I think that's what they learned over the years. It's like if you don't like a group, but you still want them to be held down, it's like you can't just go like, hey, go over there and fucking don't bother us. Because then the black people went over there and they like started to accumulate a shitload of wealth because they were just worrying about themselves. And then I think the white people in the town were like, well, no, we want you away and also in a worse situation than us. So they like, was that with, I forget exactly how that started. Did that start with the kid on the, which one did that start with? Anyway, but yeah, so then like it was crazy, like the way they were just like fucking shit up on these black people when it's like, because that's why it's the same reason why a lot of people, they just like, oh, they just want, like a lot of conservatives will just be like, we just want black people to be better and stuff. And I go, no, I think you actually are like racist because there's a lot of people who act like they want better shit. They just want black people to act right and be better and stuff like that. And then it's like, well, you would all be behaving a much different way if that's actually how you felt. You wouldn't just be like, I think a lot of, you see it on the flip side too. It just doesn't come off as spooky or it doesn't come off as like harsh and evil because black people have traditionally not had the same type of power as white people. So, but it's like the same thing. It's much lower magnitudes of intensity, but it's the same thing where like you'll see white people and black people everyone does it. It's the ones who want to lean into the racism. It's just, they need that group. They need that group to like shit on. Cause I don't know. I think it just does something for them. You know, if you just pick one of your groups to be like, oh, we just need to fuck them in the ass, whether it be literally or like metaphorically, you know what I mean? And that's how like the Tulsa race shit comes off to me on first glance. Now, maybe I'll look at it differently if I learn more, but it just comes off as them being like, damn, they were vibing out way too fucking hard. We need to roll in there and just fucking clap cheeks. But it's like, dude, if you just let people be and not, well, that's like excuse me. Anyway, I was gonna, last thing, and I'll look at these. Some of these comments were good that I wanted to read, but yeah, that's like the ultimate problem of like, because I don't want to just shit on liberals because there's a lot of cool liberals that are just chill. I just disagree with them on like vaguely on politics. It's that's why like the politically active liberals are worse than like the politically active Republicans well, I was going to say in message, but now that I think about it, like the problem with the Republicans is like they talk some decent game on probably more so than I don't know. I think that's why I was drawn towards libertarians because it's like half the Republican shit I can get on board with, and the other half I'm like, eh. And then half of the, because once they start talking about Israel and stuff, you're like, oh, you guys suck. And then when they get like too goosed up on religion, organized religion, I'm like, that sucks. And you guys know me, I'm not like an anti-religion guy. Just the organized religion shit sucks ass to me. But then yeah, with the fucking left-wing shit. A lot of like politically active left-wing shit is it comes off as this reaction to not having religion, and they need like their equivalent of saying the rosary or going to confession or something, because it's like religion has these things where it's like if you act a certain way and you do A, B, and C, it's like that's why they keep saying like on the right side of history. Like being on the right side of history is like their version of going to confession or something like that. It's yeah, it's like their version of going to confession because they're like, sorry, this is a slightly new idea and I'm working through it. No, because it's like they're very, because I was thinking about it watching that Wayward show, because the Wayward show reminds me. Because I remember I was watching it and I was talking to my wife and she was just like, oh yeah, this random, rural community where they're just, there's like every LGBTQ under the sun or something. Like, and it's not saying like any problem with that. It's just, it was like the way the show was portraying it felt the same way I was joking about how, oh, we're doing a show about people who stab people in England. Probably should make it about a white guy. Like, it was, my wife was saying like, not that it wouldn't be like a community like that seems sick, but like she just thought it was unrealistic the way it was presented. And I was like, no, that's the funny thing. There's actually like liberals and progressives who actually kind of mean it and act upon it are chill. Because when you just sit in the theoretical, you just have all these opinions and you want someone else to figure it out. When you actually take it upon yourself and act upon it, life hits you in the fucking dick and you realize there's like, oh, there's just certain things I can't avoid that I have to do myself, and I actually have to like garner these skills and figure out. So they end up becoming people who are like more self-sufficient, but they still hold these like liberal progressive values, but the realities of life force them to be a certain type of way. So that's why it's like that kind of shit is actually kind of fucking chill. What was the original point I was trying to make? Oh, but yeah, no, that's why I think with a lot of, but like when you outside of those communities, when you just get into like the broad, like especially in cities and shit like that, or not even just cities, but anywhere you get a lot of those like liberal progressive types, it's honestly the same. That's why I just get so annoyed when any of those groups talk shit, because I'm like, you're the same as the other side. Like it's like you just have a different flavor. You know what I mean? You're literally Pepsi and Coke. You're Pepsi and Coke, man. Which, funny enough, those are both red and blue. Yeah, dude. It's like the Republicans are Coke and the liberals are Pepsi. It's your Pepsi and Coke. So it's like, but what annoys me more is the left wing, the leftist people do this shit where, because the problem with the Republicans is like their policies would actually broadly benefit, like the policies they say, but then once it's time to get into office, they just turn into fucking Democrats. It's just like, who needs money? It's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know any Republican administration, and this is an educated guess. I would guess there's been like 0 Republican administrations where you go, oh yeah, there's less war and there's less notable regulation and shit like that. It's like, no, like the best they could do was Trump's first term. They said no new wars. That's the best they could do. They couldn't even give him, you know what I mean? Which is good, but it's like, the way he would talk shit on the campaign trail, it's like, you can't even stop one. You know what I mean? But, so like Republican policy would broadly be better, minus like the Israel shit and stuff like that. But the problem with the liberal shit is they've been tricked into like, because they don't understand, like they deeply don't understand economics. Republicans at least understand economics because a lot of them do actual real jobs. So like you find these market forces in the real world. Like a lot of leftist people have like fake hypothetical jobs in their heads. I'm not saying like they physically like do a job and make money, but it's one of those like, like graphic designer or like web design. It's like this isn't like desperately needed in the core functions of whatever this is for. It's just a nice thing to have on top of it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit like that. It's like, I don't know if you're running any of those things. So they exist a lot of times in the hypothetical. And in their hypothetical, a lot of it boils down to like, well, give them this, do this, make this better. And it's like the Republican guy who actually works at, a warehouse or something like that. Like that's why a lot of the fucking socialist shit never worked on me. Cause like, you know, you think about it, a lot of this leftist people, they're working those jobs where half their day is spent in pointless meetings. So it's like, oh, if we're gonna just sit, like they spend a lot of their day sitting down discussing shit. So like, why wouldn't that make sense where it's like all the workers should have a say in the production process or whatever the fuck it is? You know what I mean? It's like everyone's voice is equal. When you work in a warehouse or like a real job like that, where like things need to get done, or like if someone's fucking stupid, you might get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, dude, like I fucking, you know, this might sound like tattletaling, but there was a dude who wouldn't wear his high vis. And I had to go to my boss and go like, brother, you got to get him to wear his high vis or we're going to kill him when we're driving out there. No one can see him coming around corners. You know what I mean? So it's like, you do these like blue collar manual labor jobs. You understand like incentives. You understand little things like, these dumb fucks I work with should not have a say in this and shit. Like, so that's why it's like, that's why I would probably just sort of roll, and it all comes back to why, people need to understand like shit like this is why everyone would way rather roll the dice with Trump than Kamala or any Republican than a Democrat. Cause like the Democratic shit or the leftist shit, it was what I was saying before. It all goes back to like being like the leftist shit all goes back to like, oh, this would be nice. This would be nice. And you just ignore incentives. And like you have to exist in reality, and so it's like, oh, there's a homeless problem. Well, what if we gave them some money? And you're like, okay, well, where's the money coming from? Taxes. So that's just people. So it's like, so I should just pay. Like now it becomes my responsibility to help this homeless guy. And it's like, no, that's stupid. And then also too, on top of that, when you give homeless people money, 9 times out of 10, it's not like they save it and go like, oh, I'm going to get an apartment with this, or it's like they go buy heroin and shit like that. So it's like, it's this thing that they don't think through any of the shit. So it starts off with something that feels nice. And then it's just the sad irony is it only makes it worse. You know what I mean? But like, this is not a promotion of Republicans because they are all like leftists are dumb. I mean, Democrats and Republicans have just as many liars and stuff. But like leftists more often are just dumb. Like that's the problem with them is Republicans just are, I don't know. I don't think they fully believe in their shit. They just know the right things to say. So that's why it comes back. That's why it's just like, I don't know. I'm the radical over here being like, hey, you know how all this sucks? What if we just didn't do it? You know what I mean? That's also my argument for, I could have logical arguments about like why we have to get rid of regulation, but I would just also too, like, I know people aren't mentally prepared to not have a government. I get that. That's fine. I don't know what the argument is for more of it though. I just can't, like, if we did top 10, if we did top 10 worst things in the world, government's hitting a lot of them. You know what I mean? If we do top 10, like top 10 reasons huge amount of people died, it's all going to government. You know what I mean? All that shit. So it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm done yapping about the government. I'm never done yapping about the government. I've seen some comments from earlier. Some of the best grindcore in Chicago right now is coming from self-proclaimed she-males. Is the band glad? Trans folks are typically chill in my experience. Yeah, that's why I like trans people. And I like progressives and liberals and all that shit because they're the ones who give you, like, in a perfect world, the right would give you structure and a nice place to be. and then the left would give you the entertainment and the fun stuff and make it a little quirky and shit like that. So that's why it's like I don't want to get rid of these people. I just want them to not be taken seriously. No, but it goes back to the trans shit where it's just like, yeah, make your art. Can we just, not, I don't know. Fuck. I'm out of it. I'm sorry. I've only watched JCW because Zach Amico works for them sometimes. What could possibly be controversial about a trans? That was the trans conversation earlier. I did want to get back. Someone asked me way earlier about Fleshwater, and I didn't want to miss it. This was a funny comment. Pat McAfee is A-okay with me. Sure, he panders to some of his guests, but they all do. He also goes hard at people when he needs to. Yeah, that's what I like. People always hit Rogan with that as well. To be like, he gives these people softball interviews, and it's like, watch the interview. He gave Zuckerberg a softball interview. Watch the interview. Zuckerberg looks like a dumbass in it. He doesn't look. Zuckerberg didn't leave that interview looking good, so I don't know what we're talking about right now. Didn't leave the interview looking good. Shit. Okay, I actually have to bounce in a second. I just realized what time it was. But there was one question earlier. Yes. DB. Oh, hell yeah. Do you fuck with Fleshwater? Just saw them live. They're great. Between songs, they played atmospheric tunes while blasting the crowd with falling snow. That's awesome. Yeah, I did a review on it. I did a reaction video. I absolutely fucking love Fleshwater. I think they absolutely their last album was unreal and amazing, and it was fucking beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. This is an interesting comment too. I've been to India, low government control. Japan, high government control. Japan was cleaner and safer. India is dirty, but has an economic future. I really struggle with my growing ambivalence with it all. Well, you also too have to realize, and this is a thing. I talked about, or I heard Dave talking about, and I never thought about this clarifier, but it is a good distinction where it's like you do have to remember that libertarianism is a good it's like a legal framework. It's how you should legally look. It's how you should look at things from a legal thing. So it goes back to so like talking about private property, it goes back to a thing like okay, so I respect private property. You can do whatever you want on your own property. So then people go like, oh, so you're saying it's okay to put up a whites only sign or something like that? Whatever race you want to do, it's okay to put up a whites only sign. I don't know if it's okay. I mean, depending on what you mean by okay, it's their right on their property to, like, I always say it's like on your private property, it's your right to be as big of a dick as you want. But but then also too, you need, and that's why I think a lot of people need to like not shun religion as much. I don't like organized religion, but I think a lot of people would do good with a low dose of, like, a moderate dose of religion. You know what I mean? Just to give them a good sense of morals and shit like that. Cause like everyone has this urge in them to like look for, I don't know, like a God or something like that to praise or to follow or shit like that. And if you don't, and I think Christianity is a way, if you just get a low dose of Christianity is way better than fucking raw dogging it. Cause then you just become one of those dorks who's obsessed with being on the right side of history, which no one fully knows that. Like the shit we're doing right now that we think is the best shit to do, we will find out in 50 years that it was the worst shit to do. It happens all throughout history. You know what I mean? So like there's shit that we thought was bad and then we thought was good, then we found out it was bad. There's vice versa. So like the wrong side, being on the right side of history, those people are like misguided and incredibly pompous. And but yeah, so I think this idea that most people can raw dog life without any level of religion or some sort of moral framework that they just refer to as like, oh, this is the way I should be every day. I think they're very misguided in that. So like that, to me, the perfect societal pairing would be libertarian understanding of the law, low dose of Christianity for everyone. I think that would be the best way to function in society. But I have to leave. I'm sorry this one's short today. I will come back tomorrow with a much longer stream, and we will watch that 9/11 doc because I'm very excited to watch that. We'll watch that, get into more news and all this other shit. All right. I love you guys. Have a good one. See